Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to our Pokemon Global Link Battle Spotlight, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule sets of the VGC 2019 season. So we are continuing on with this Drifblim, Tapu Lele, Kyogre, Yveltal, Incineroar, and Amoonguss team. After playing it last week, where we had such a good start with the team, we had a real good feeling about it, we're feeling confident with it, and it's been a real bumpy road so far this week. But we had a little bit of a conversation in yesterday's episode. If you haven't seen that, go back and check that out here. At the end of yesterday's episode, I just talked about, like, you've got to, like, to get to, even though there's a big part of me that always thinks after a loss, do I want to put this up on YouTube? No, I don't want to put it up. I genuinely do not want to put losses up on here. I want to put wins up all the time, but let's face facts. Losing is going to happen, and losing is what you learn from. And all I said in yesterday's video was that it's the path that you take to getting to a winning mentality that is the important thing, and it's the lessons you take along this losing path to becoming consistent, becoming a winner. That it's important, and taking what you take away from that path is the good thing. So there is value in putting these losses up because we take good points away from them, and that's all I'm going to say on that. If you want to see more, go and have a listen to the end of the video. Obviously watch the video as well, because it's the point is just taking it to the end. You miss all the good stuff, and there's some good stuff in yesterday's episode. But as always, let's just jump on to the battle spot. Let's get this episode underway. As always, if you enjoy the content, guys, please leave a like, do subscribe to the channel, and check out all of our guide stuff that we have coming out at the minute, and all that nice things. So, rating, we shouldn't really worry about rating, but it has taken a bit of a beating. We've got our first opponent of the day, just like magic, Ica from Spain, with a decent rating, playing a team of Xerneas, Groudon, Incineroar, Tapu Lele, Bronzong, and Smeagol. This looks a lot like a team I know of someone very close to me that's playing at the minute, but I will not say anything. But it's a very strong team. We know that the Groudon Bronzong mod, we've played that already ourselves. You know, there's a Trick Room there, the Gravity, the Precipice Blades, the setup with Groudon potentially, Sword Stance substitute. You've got the Incineroar for the Fake Out support. You've got the Xerneas, we know what it does, Geomancy, support from Incineroar, support, Smeagol, just excellent support there. The Tapu Lele is the really interesting one here in the team. Bringing that grassy terrain as well for recovery for the rest of the team. You've got to imagine that Bronzong is heat proof as well, but we've got tools to kind of get around stuff. I am going to lead Drifblim Lele because it's just generally good against Xerneas Smeagol stuff. Whether my opponent leads with that or not is another question. I think this game we bring in Incineroar for sure. It's good against the Bronzong, it's good against the Bulu, it intimidates so good against Incineroar and Groudon, and the Fake Out support's invaluable. So it's about what we bring in as our last Pokemon. Do we bring Kyogre, or do we bring Yveltal? Kyogre's obviously really good for the weather matchup, but I kind of want to bring Yveltal, I think, for this one. So I'm going to lock in with Yveltal, and let's see how we get on. Incineroar is going to be a problem to deal with, but we do have low kick on our own Incineroar, and that was one of the reasons why I put low kick on there. It does give us a better way to kind of hit opposing Incineroars. The Alga's, the fighting stab's really good on most rain teams generally, so it does help. But we're going to see Bronzong, we're going to see Incineroar come up for my opponent, and not the lead that we kind of want to be seeing, but at the same time I think we probably here have to lose our boost, our special defensive boost with Drifblim. Like, we are not really doing anything without the Shadow Ball here, and I'm going to bring in Incineroar, and I could taunt the Bronzong, which probably is not a bad play at all really to shut it down. We'll get an Intimidate onto it as well to reduce the power of those Gyro Balls, but if we can stop the Trick Room going up, that's a really good start for us. We'll probably see a knockoff from the opposing Incineroar into our Drifblim for sure, so we'll lose 50% berry on our Incineroar, but I mean, it's better than losing Drifblim, and we probably need Drifblim for the Xerneas matchup later on. So for that reason alone, we see knockoff into the Lele, which is way better for our Incineroar, and we see double up. Can we get knocked out or not? Yeah, we do. Okay. It's not the worst, because we get a free switch into Yveltal, which puts a lot of pressure onto the Bronzong, definitely. Although, dealing with Incineroar now is pretty difficult, but we can go low kick into it. Do we go knock off into it first and then low kick? Or do we just knock off into the Bronzong? Knock off foul play into the Bronzong. Which might not be a bad idea. The Bronzong is not going to protect. I mean, what comes in for the Bronzong here? Bulu. I don't think you switch in Xerneas, but you may. I'm going to do that. I'm going to knock off and then I'm going to foul play into the Bronzong. So it's withdrawing. I mean, if it's a Xerneas, it is. So we get rid of that. We get rid of the herb, which is ideal, really, isn't it? Okay, so there's the foul play. It's not going to do very much damage. None at all. So bulky. But we get the knockoff, which is the bigger thing here. And we've got the Snarl for the next turn to reduce damage on that. We get the Fire Blitz into our Yveltal. Yeah, okay. We really need to, like, yeah, I think we should probably Flare Blitz into... Or should we just start dealing with the Incineroar? Huh. I mean, we could knock off the Incineroar, the opposing Incineroar, yeah, and Snarl. Let's do that. Because there's only a can't boost up. I mean, it might boost up, but okay, we're going to see Bronzong come in. So the knockoff into that slot's like really good. There's the Moonblast. It's actually outspeeding Yveltal. Oh, we don't take it. I don't think we can win this now. We needed that Snarl. It's like max speed Xerneas. Get the knockoff into the Bronzong because we got nowhere to. Well, I say that. Like if Groudon comes in, we've got Will-O-Wisp, I guess, because we can just knock off again into the Bronzong. But the Bronzong doesn't stay in here, I don't think. But if the Trick Room goes up, that's definitely 100% game. I'm going to Acrobatics into the Xerneas, and I'm going to knock off into the Bronzong. We'll probably see. Okay, no switches coming out. Moonblast into the Incineroar. Does so much damage, doesn't it? It's crazy. Crazy strong. We might get it with another Acrobatic. Maybe. So, does the Incineroar come back in? It is, yeah. Okay. We definitely don't get it with Acrobatics now. But we can Flare Blitz, probably get the Xerneas. We're probably better off not Flare Blitzing though. We're probably better off going low kick. And do we want a Tailwind? I mean, we probably want to. Probably want a Flare Blitz and Tailwind. I mean, if we lose Drifblim here, like we're likely to, I think. Okay. We might take a knockoff from the Incineroar, getting Tailwind. The Groudon's definitely going to be the Pokemon in the back, like 100%. But we've got to have Drifblim on the field when that Groudon comes in so we can burn it. But even then, like, what do we do against it? Because the Incineroar is not going to be able to. And we've got no way to get rid of the Incineroar now on the opposing side of the field. Incineroar switching out. So I mean, we get the Xerneas now, but the problem is that the Incineroar comes back in. Let's see Intimidate again. We can burn the Groudon for sure, but like I say, it puts us in a position where we can't really do much against the Groudon. I mean, it's definitely got Fire Punch, so it's going to be able to hit the Drifblim for the damage. Precipice Blades, I mean, we can hope it misses, but you just get faked out from the Incineroar onto our Incineroar for sure, and probably Fire Punch into Drifblim. I'd imagine that's what would come out. So, with that said, we will go Flare Blitz into the Groudon because we might be able to Poké on Berry if we somehow get through this turn, which I doubt we will, and then just go for that Will-O-Wisp. But there's the fake out like we thought as a Will-O-Wisp into the Groudon. But it's not like we're so low on resources now. It's not like we're not going to be able to unless it misses. Nah, and I don't think we take this. Not from where we were, and there's no way Drifblim takes down Incineroar. And this is the point where we're like, yeah, bring Kyogre in now, and then we can win. But we don't have Kyogre. So again, team selection from ourselves, not so great. Really good for my opponent. I'm not even going to attack this turn because we don't want to waste any more time in this animation scene, and we can move on. So very good game to my opponent. Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ica, very good game. Not so good for ourselves. But we'll move on, and we'll see if we can at least get a win in our next game. It's probably one of those things where because I'm pre-recording these matches, so I'm in that mentality now where it's just not going well. It's probably good that probably a good idea that I take a break or something like that. But it's fine, isn't it? It's fine. It's gonna happen. Like results like this are gonna happen at some point. Nick from Italy, 1582 rating. Let's hope we can get a win here against Nick. He's playing a team of Sableye, Groudon, Lilligant, Nihilego, Lunala, and Tapu Lele. So we know what's coming from. Yeah, we're going to see the Gravity. We're going to see the Hypnosis for sure. Like, what's our best lead against that? I think like our best lead against that is Yveltal Amoonguss, I would say. So we've got the Rage Powder support to pull in the Hypnosis stuff. We've got big attacks with Yveltal that we can do things with. So we will go with that. I think I'll go with Yveltal. I'll go Tapu Lele. If we can get the Tailwind up, that's really nice. And then the Kyogre, obviously, for the Groudon matchup. So let's lock in with that. Totally changing things up. Not relying so much on those Drifblim Lele leads like we have been. That's probably one of the ways where we went wrong quite a lot recently. We probably went like quite down like the wrong road by just relying on that lead so much. It worked so well last week, and then going into most matches this week we're just clicking in again, and it's like mindlessly at some points just doing that, which is like not the way to play Pokemon at all. But let's see. Hopefully Nick decides pretty swift, because he's only got 4, 3, 2, 1. He's just letting the timer go down. So, what is Nick bringing to this battle? Nick with your lovely, cool looking Pikachu hat. What all the kids want to wear. Look real sharp. Like everyone. If you wore that hat, I swear, on the street, everyone would be so jealous. Everyone wants that hat. Looking suave. They probably make that hat as well, like in real life. Probably. I'm not making fun of it. If anyone is worried that I am, I'm not. So, we're gonna see Gravity. We're gonna see Hypnosis. I mean, do we Spore and protect Yveltal and predict them to go into Yveltal, and then possibly they're gonna Hypnosis the Amoonguss, right? Let's go Snarl. Let's go Snarl. And Rage Powder. Because I just want to break potential Sash on that Sableye, and just break the ability on Lunala as well. And we can check some speed tier stuff out. Oh, Lunala's going to actually switch out. We've seen Nihilego come in. Okay. And what's the Sableye going to do? Taunt, possibly? Yeah, okay. that's like completely fine. And we see an eject button on the save light, but no gravity setup, so that's like 1 plus for us right now. The gravity is not up, the save light is not on the field. I mean, we probably have to potentially readjust our board position next turn with the Amoonguss. With the Groudon coming in though, it's a pretty easy switch for us to Kyogre. Or we could bring in Lele since it is sashed, and we don't sacrifice, and we could Tailwind as well. But I mean, the problem is the Nihilego could Trick Room. I don't know if it will though. Will it Trick Room? Potentially could Trick Room. Would you Trick Room with an Amoonguss on the field though? But you would Trick Room if you expected the Kyogre to come in. No, I'm going to go with what we thought originally. I'm going to go to the Lele. And I'm going to... Actually, I'm not going to go for the Tailwind. I'm going to go for a Snarl. Again, just to weaken that Nihilego. We can Tailwind the next turn. Just in case the Trick Room comes up. We don't want to make a situation even worse by Tailwinding on a Trick Room turn. And Yveltal outspeed Groudon anyway. We'll take this power gem because of the -1 pretty easily. And we're putting it down to -2 now, so we're going to be able to take the next one as well. And Lele will be in a way more comfortable position going into this next turn. We're going to see 500 into that Amoonguss slot, which will take the into the Yveltal. Just takes us down, pops our berry. Okay. Now I protect Lele, and I'm going to Tailwind for sure. I could have probably just side shocked an Nihilego as well. And I think that would have been a better play. Or maybe not, with the save light coming in. Okay. Okie dokie. Where's the Groudon gone? Is it gone? I doubt it does P-Blades. No, it just protects. Just protecting. Alright. There's Tailwind. Sableye does get access to Fake Out, so I'd imagine it probably wants to go for the Fake Out into... Does it go Fake Out or does it go Gravity? Kind of want to double into the Groudon with a Moonblast in a foul play. Like it either fakes out into the Yveltal, stops us attacking, so we get the Moonblast into that slot, or Gravities, yeah. And then we get the double up into the Groudon and we take it down. So that was kind of the reasoning behind that. So I don't really care about what the Sableye's doing right now. It's more about the like what can take advantage of the potential gravity that comes out. And like, does Sableye even have Fake Out? Probably does. Like Fake Out, Gravity, Foul Play, Wisp, maybe? Maybe. Who knows? Feels like such a grind though. We're looking alright at the minute. It's not over by a long way, but this match is feeling like such a grind. What do we do now? I think we have to break the link, like, yeah, go for Moonblast there. We've got, how many turns? 2 turns, so we've got enough time to do this. Protect. Because we can't KO that Lunala with Yveltal right now. We need to break the ability and then foul play it. Or snarl it and double it with Lele. Because otherwise we just get put to sleep by the Hypnosis. Because it will take a combination of attacks from Yveltal and Lele. Okay, goes for a feint, but doesn't work in Psychic Terrain. And break the Sash and get special attack drop, so that's really good for us. See this Hypnosis, and it's not because of the terrain that failed, it's because it's Prankster on a Dark type that failed. So that's something just to keep in mind, guys. We're going to go for the Moonblast again, and we're going to go for a foul play. So So Sableye withdrawing, we probably see Protect come out on the Lunala, I would imagine. Yeah. And this is the last turn of Tailwind. Okay, so... we need to get rid of the Nihilego. Let's Protect with Yveltal and SOHK. Lele is pretty safe at this point, unless it's the target for the Hypnosis, which it might be. Like, if my opponent's confident that the Nihilego can take down the Yveltal, which isn't so far-fetched, then you just target the Lele with the Hypnosis if you want to go that route. Moonbeam the guys. Unless you double. No, you can't double the Lele. You literally cannot double the Lele. Okay, we're actually outspeeding the Nihilego, so this should take it down. Yeah. Okay. Crazy. But we know the Lunala will outspeed our Yveltal now, which is really interesting information, because our Lele outspeeds our Yveltal. So let's go Moonblast. And let's switch Yveltal out to Amoonguss. I think we'll be able to close this one up and win this one now. My opponent down to his last 2 Pokemon. We'll be able to deal with the Sableye pretty easily with Lele, as long as that Lunala. I think it probably has to target the Yveltal here with the Hypnosis, which leaves Sableye really kind of open to... It's gone for a feint. Yeah, it would make sense that the Hypnosis comes into this slot now. No. Ah. She's gone straight down the throat for that Lele. I guess it covers the Sableye. No, going... Wow, alright. No, I think we just... Yeah, well. Unless it's Specs, but it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm sure it's not. We just got Moonblast and we just got Rage Powder. But that Moongeist Beam does like literally nothing, unless that was a misclick from my opponent, but it does nothing into Yveltal anyway, so we could have just stayed in, I guess. But the threat of the Gravity Hypnosis was just too much. SOHK, yeah, it's definitely not Specs or anything. I didn't think it was, but I just didn't understand why it kept locking into that same attack, and why you do that attack into Yveltal. So strange. It's nice that we brought a different 4 to this match, and it's worked out pretty well. And we probably lose Amoonguss here, but I mean, we've got more than enough to kind of close this game out. We've still got Kyogre in the back, so it's like we're not really in any serious trouble. There's a Hypnosis now coming out into Amoonguss, putting it to sleep. Moonblast should... But I guess the Lunala probably doesn't really have any real other options to hit the Yveltal with. Could have Moonblast. But no, it won't, because it's got Protect, it's got Moongeist Beam, it's got SOHK and Hypnosis, like we've seen. So yeah, yeah, Yveltal just walls it completely. Gotta worry about the Hypnosis, of course. There's Moongeist into the Lele, and yeah, we can just switch in to Amoonguss now and just go for foul play. Well, I mean, we don't, we just double attack, because I don't want something being put to sleep. If my opponent guesses right, we just double attack. We lose something or something goes to sleep, but you can't put both things to sleep. Yveltal dodges and Lele finishes up with a Moonblast. So very good. Really good game to my opponent. Nice to see this team again, and nice to be able to kind of get a win around it. So and nice to get a win as well after like so many like bad hiccups this week. It's nice to get a win, and we will finish up tomorrow with this team. And you know, going into tomorrow's episode, it would be ideal if we can just get 2 or 3 wins, and that would be perfect, wouldn't it? So That would be great, and we will be back tomorrow. So I will just say thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. And leave your comments down below. I really look forward to hearing them. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that sort of stuff. And we'll be back for another episode very soon. So thanks again for staying with me till the end. It will come good eventually, and we'll be back for another episode tomorrow. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves, have a great evening, afternoon, morning, night, whatever time of day it is, and I'll see you next episode. So until then, bye bye.